Cloud, pretty fast character on the ground. Kind of like slides around as well. So like your dash speed is really quick. So you can kind of just whiff punish things just by dashing out of the way and then punishing. Jump height's really good actually, or at least compared to most characters. Your up special really doesn't travel that far. It actually travels a bit less than Simon and Richter's if you're wanting to know for reference compared to other characters. But if you do have your full limit, which you can charge just by pressing down B, then your up special goes much further and will allow you to recover from much further distances. You can also hit B again on your up special to send it down. But yeah, I'll be getting into the uses of that later. But for now, let's go ahead and get into moveset. So for dash attack, kind of just propel yourself forward with your sword in front of you. And let me go ahead and turn on CPU shuffling and things like that, so that way stuff works a bit better. But yeah, as you can see, kind of just bring your sword in front of you. People run into the sword, they will take damage. It doesn't really travel that far. The dash, you can see it travels about the width of that like generator thing behind Cloud. So not that much of a distance after you just bring out the initial hit, but after that then it does travel. Or after that, then your opponent, if you do hit them, they will travel a decent distance. Because it just has a lot of knockback. With your jab, you just got a 3-hit jab. You can do jab blocks with Cloud, but they're not exactly that useful. As Cloud's not exactly a character that should be jab blocking, but I mean, you definitely can if that's the optimal punish, but it's not exactly an important thing to always do. Whereas with some characters, they can rely heavily on jab blocks. But yeah, I guess we can go ahead and get started into tilts now. You've got up tilt, which, as you can see, it brings the sword out from behind Cloud and then in front of him, so it's really good if you use it with people behind you. And then you can combo off of it a bit easier, as it will have less startup, but still can't really combo it into any aerials or anything unless you do the first hit like that. But yeah, it's kind of slow in terms of end lag. A lot of Cloud's moves are a bit slower in terms of that, like landing lag and end lag, but it's not too bad just to throw out there if someone's throwing the land on you. It's not like you throw out forward smash and then you have a massive amount of end lag. It's a bit safer than that, and you can also catch people trying to jump over you from behind, like crossing you up as well. So if they try to jump behind you, then you can kind of just throw out up tilt if you're not sure where they're going to go after they jump. Down tilt gives you like a bit of a low slide, so pretty good for like dodging certain projectiles or jumping underneath, and or not jumping underneath, but people will be able to jump over Cloud during certain moves, and also just if they're trying to do an aerial, and then Cloud kind of go underneath them in the back air or like forward air, neutral air, up air as well. So you can just kind of use it to dodge attacks, but I mean it's an okay move to throw out for an attack, although it doesn't really do that much damage. It can kind of combo, like you can kind of get a grab out of it, potentially, but I'm doing it a bit too fast. Yeah, I'm doing it way too fast, but if you do get that initial hit, then it sends a bit too high for a grab, but you can still do things like up tilt afterwards, and then maybe get a combo out of that. But down tilt, if you do it from further away, won't be as strong, I think. Let me see. Oh wait, yeah, it will. I know with certain characters, down tilts like that, it won't be, but with Clouds, it seems to do consistent damage. So, kind of hit on the toe there, or if you just hit right next to someone, then you will be able to do about 8.8%. But, other than just avoiding moves, it's just not really that useful. I mean, I guess you can kind of use it to have a pretty fast attack compared to something like up tilt. Like, you can get some damage out in front of you a bit faster. But forward tilt's going to have the most amount of range, and it's really good for just throwing out if you're not sure if your enemy's going to approach, or if you approach and you just want to hit them from pretty far away with it, just to like poke at their shield a bit, then you could do that as well, as it does have a lot of range, so definitely abuse it, as a lot of characters don't really have access to as much range as Cloud does. So, you can see I'm almost about to hit Falcon's hand with that, so I can kind of just base around him. But, outside of that, it does a decent amount of damage. It can kill at higher percents, so it's a bit safer to throw out than forward smash, because forward smash has much more end lag than forward tilt. but they can be pretty much used in the same way. Just if you're trying to catch someone landing and then you want to just hit them with a forward tilt, up smash, or forward smash, you have those options. And then if you're trying to approach, or if your enemy's trying to approach from the ground, then you can just throw out forward tilt to be safe. And then if they're trying to approach from the air, you've got up tilt or down tilt for that. With your smash attacks, you've got up smash, which can be performed out of shield. So, really fast, decent for killing, although it's kind of not too strong at lower percents. It can kind of start juggles at lower percents though, which Cloud is really good at that. And then it will kill off the top pretty easily. But forward smash or like down smash are going to be some of your primary smash attacks in terms of just knocking your opponent off the screen and getting their stock. As up smash it can kill, that's a bit too high of a percent actually. Let me try like 120. See, it doesn't kill at 120, whereas with like forward smash and down smash they would, but it will kill at about 130, so you can maybe use it out of shield then, if you just have struggled to hit somebody with like cross slash, or if you've struggled to land forward or down smash, then maybe you can just throw out your up smash, but forward tilt might also kill at the ledge, so depending on how your opponent DI'd, like I think that could have been DI'd there because there was no indicator to show that it confirmed. But yeah, with your down smash, you've got this little 2-hit down smash. It looks very similar to Ganondorf, because Ganondorf is technically based off of Cloud's. But yeah, you just got a 2-hit sword. It's really fast, so you can kind of throw it out if you're trying to land a smash attack for a kill. And also if you're trying to hit an opponent that's really low to the ground and you're not sure if your forward smash will hit, which it most likely will, because it does hit opponents that are on the ground. You can see, but if you're not sure, then you can just draw it down smash. Down smash doesn't have as much range in front of Cloud as forward smash does, but it has a bit more range behind, so you can also use it to hit people from behind you. But you can see forward smash would be able to connect there. And you can also just use it to like read rolls, so if you think someone's going to roll behind you, then you can obviously do that. And then if you read cross-ups as well. Up smash can also be used to read cross-ups, but down smash will kill much faster and it's a bit safer. Because yeah, if your opponent rolls and then you miss the down smash, or if they do some different option, then it might not have as much end lag as something like up smash. See, there's a bit of a difference. With forward smash, it is your laggiest smash attack, but it's also the most powerful. It will do about 21.5% uncharged. Really good if you space it out, but if you don't really space it out that much, really easy to punish if you get it shielded. But yeah, if you space it out, then you can still be punished for it being shielded, but opponents might try to like grab you out of shield or something like that, and it would only really work if they had a tether. But still probably your best smash attacks in terms of killing, as it will kill much faster than down smash. Like down smash will kill at the same percents as forward smash, but forward smash will kill a lot earlier, so it's at 100. That's probably a bit too low. It's probably like maybe 78. So yeah, 78 is going to kill. So let me just see what percent it stops killing. Okay, so it killed at 70, but 67? Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let me just try to turn it down to 50. And just plain 50. So yeah, it didn't confirm there, but as you can see, down smash will travel much less distance. But our forward smash kills at about 60, and down smash will kill at about 80. So, at the ledge at least. Or it's not even going to kill at 80, but you kind of get the idea that forward smash is going to kill much faster. And then I completely messed up that edge guard there, so kind of just ignore that. Okay, let's set this back to 0. So, for your aerials, because that's going to be the next one, we've got neutral air. Really good for spacing, as it's very fast and it covers a lot of range around Cloud. It has a bit of landing lag, but it's not that bad. It's not something that you can exactly just spam all the time, but if you are spacing, like you can't spam it on someone's shield is what I mean, but if you're spamming it to like space against someone, like if I were trying to space against this Captain Falcon, I might do something like this to be able to space around. But back air is also really useful for spacing. It's probably a bit more useful as it does have more range than neutral air. But neutral air kind of just covers more distance, whereas with back air you have more range in one direction, with neutral air you have more range in front of and behind Cloud. With forward air, it's going to be very laggy, so it's not that great for spacing. You can still use it to spike if you hit on the tip, like that. And it's a pretty powerful spike. Down air will also spike, but it's much laggier. Cloud is very similar to like Link's sword plant. So, as long as your sword's glowing, then you will be able to hit someone with a move, although you don't bounce off of it, like with Link's. And you also have a bit more range, but yeah, most of the time if you throw out down air off stage, then you might not be able to get back to stage unless you still have your jump. If you like double jump down air, then you might not be able to make it back, unless you have limit. But yeah, forward air and back air, really useful for edge guarding. Neutral air is useful for edge guarding against certain characters. Like if you're not sure how they're going to recover, you can throw out neutral air. But the problem with neutral air is it's just not going to knock back as far as something like back air or forward air. With forward air, you actually get the spike, if you land the tip. But if you don't land the tip, you still get a pretty powerful move. Like forward air is still really powerful even if it doesn't spike. With back air, you get more knockback than forward air if it doesn't spike, but you still, it's like a bit better for edge guarding because it's a bit faster as well. With forward air, it's a bit slower, but you will kill opponents faster if you land the tip, so it's a bit riskier. And then neutral air is pretty useful. Down air is kind of risky as well. And its spike is like on the hilt of the sword, kind of like around that area, so it's going to be pretty difficult to land spike on certain characters. Up air is going to be primarily used for juggling. It's really hard to hit like a landing up air on most characters, but with some you can. You can't hit it on characters like Pichu or Pikachu, but as you can see with Captain Falcon, he's about tall enough for it to just barely scrape his head. But yeah, what up air does is it just puts the sword above Cloud's head like this. It doesn't cover as much range as it used to in Smash 4, but it still covers a lot of range. It's another one of those moves where I guess all of your aerials technically are moves where if the sword is glowing, then it's active, and then if it stops glowing, then it's not active, and then it will also not do damage where it's not active, so you can't really hit people with the hilt. You can see. But you can hit them with the blade, although it might not work from this side. Okay, there we go. But yeah, you can do like landing up air into up tilt, and then up tilt up air out of that as well. But up air in general, not going to be that useful for landing, but it will be useful for juggling, so you can maybe like up throw. Or up tilt works a bit better at starting juggles than up throw, because up tilt launches directly upward, whereas with up throw launches upward and a little bit in front of Cloud. But as you can see, I'm able to just get a bit of damage just from a few up airs, even though it is already stale. With your specials, you've got moves like neutral special. It's going to be a large, like, projectile that moves pretty slowly along the stage. With limit, it will change how it behaves, so let me go ahead and get limit. So the projectile will be much faster, it will have much longer range, it will be a multi-hit, and it will kill faster. It will also do more damage, and then it does more shield pressure as well. Like, you can kind of just charge limit and then neutral special someone, and then just go up and like forward tilt or forward smash or shield to break it, depending on like how much lag you have after the neutral special. Alright, you might not be able to do that. Hold on. Say they could have changed that. So let me see if I hit this. Yeah, it doesn't have enough range, so it's gonna have a bit too much end lag there. But I thought maybe you could. But yeah, neutral special in general is just gonna be useful for like camping people out. So if you're playing against like a rushdown character, they kind of have hard times dealing with the projectiles. Like rushdown characters and sword characters, they will most likely not be able to deal with it that well. And that neutral special actually went through Falcon's head like twice. That's going a bit above his head, but that's gonna hit him there. But yeah, just because of how slow it is and how large it is, they'll have to like jump over it or block it. They might go underneath it depending on where you shoot it. But if you shoot it from about there, they don't really have much options. So like if you short hop neutral B, so something like that, then they can't really travel that far. Or they can't really like jump out of the way if they like are just trying to jump out of the way really quickly with like a short hop, like you can with it, if you do like that. And then they can't really run against it like if you jump super high and then try to catch your jump. So doing it in that middle area is probably the best area. And then you can kind of approach them while the beam is, or while the projectile is still out, so then you can maybe get a follow-up. Or you can try to punish what option they try to do to try and avoid taking damage. With slide special, it's going to be cross slash. Without limit, you kind of just get a single hit in the air, or on the ground as well. You'll just get this little single hit. Although, if you run up to someone and then hit them, you can hit them multiple times, or you can just hit them once. Like, you can kind of just hit the B button twice to be able to hit them twice. Then hit them 3 times. It'll probably just chain to the rest. With your limit fully charged, it becomes a very powerful kill move. Like, it can still kill and does decent amount of damage if it's not fully charged. But with limit, as you can see, it does about 32.7%. You can kind of just charge limit, and then that's probably the best limit option that you have is slide special. Like, neutral special is really good if you're trying to approach, but if you're already next to someone and you're playing like a rushdown character and they're going to be next to you, then just throwing out slide special is probably the best option. And then in the air, if you like miss your opponent, so if you want to see like a kind of good edge guard here, so if I just take Falcon, I mean not Falcon, but Cloud, and then drop at the ledge, you can slide special at the ledge and it won't be able to do all the hits, so you can kind of just have that lingering hitbox there in case people try to recover against it, to maybe snipe them at the ledge. With down special, you got this little limit charge without your limit gauge full, but with your limit gauge full, you can't really charge limit anymore. So instead, you'll get finishing touch, which has a pretty strong amount of knockback, although it is very weak. It will kill opponents pretty quickly. But down special without your limit charge is pretty useful because you will just be able to build up limit faster than you would if you're just taking damage or dealing damage, because both of those will increase your limit meter. However, if you do stuff like just down special while your opponent's like respawning, or when they're on the other side of stage trying to camp you out with projectiles and you're out of their range, you might just charge limit to try and build that up. And then maybe throw out a few projectiles at them while you're charging limit, something like this, to be able to make it where they'll have to kind of avoid the projectiles, so maybe you can get a bit more limit. With up special, you've got Climb Hazard, which is going to just be a multi-hit move. As you can see, you just drag people up, and then if you hit B again, you will do that second hit that I'm doing. So if you just hit B once, you just do a single hit. If you hit B twice, you'll do multiple hits, and it will be able to spike opponents. Although it's kind of hard to hit opponents with it. So you can kind of like Chromicide with it, like that. But it will kill Cloud first most of the time, so you most likely have to do it if you have a stock lead. And then with limit, it's pretty much the same thing, although it does more damage and it goes a lot higher. So it gets more vertical distance. You can see you also get that animation. Also, the second 2 hits aren't true, unless your opponent's at a high percent. But yeah, that's pretty much going covered. Up special out of shield is a really good option for Cloud if you do the second hit of up special as well. So let me just like that. You should be able to land most of the hits if you don't have limit, and then if you do have limit, you won't be able to land all the hits. But if you just do the single hit of the B button and you just fall down like that, your opponent can punish you, whereas if you do it twice, then they won't be able to punish you, and you might be able to combo off of them. But yeah, that's pretty much going to cover it for specials. So now we have your throws. Got down throw, which will send opponents behind Cloud, and maybe you can land like a forward tilt at lower percents. Or like an up tilt, maybe. So let me try that. You can see Falcon's kind of able to get away from me there. But down throw is just not that useful for comboing. It can kind of create tech chases at lower percents pretty easily, so you maybe get a jab block out of it. As most time you will be able to knock opponents slow to the ground. Maybe do something like that. But outside of that, it really doesn't have that many uses because of where it launches. Like, it's just not that great for comboing. With up throw, you can start juggles with it, although you can't just jump like that, as it does launch a bit in front of Cloud as well as above him, so you might do something like this to be able to start juggles a bit easier. But yeah, just up throw, you get 2 hits, and then you will be able to hit them after that second hit, and then you also get the third hit of you grabbing them. And then you can get pummels as well to increase the amount of hits you get. But yeah, Really, it's just used for juggling. I mean, it can kill on platform stages if your opponent's at a high enough percent, but it's not going to be your strongest kill throw or anything like that. I believe... Or, hold on, let me test this real fast. So... Cloud really doesn't have that strong of kill throws, but I think it's back throw that kills for Cloud. Yeah, it's most likely going to be back throw, though it could be forward throw. But as you can see, they don't really even get that close to killing at about 100%. So his kill throws will kill pretty late. So most of the time, it will just kill people by either edge guarding them or just hitting them on stage with smash attacks or specials. With forward throw, you can create tech trades so that lower percent can't really combo off of it. And then same thing with back throw. Like, you just don't really have that many throw combos. Pretty much you can just create juggles with your up throw. But outside of that, you don't really get that much from throws. Other than some free damage. And then a shield grab, so that way you can pressure opponent's shields. Or not really like pressure them to try to break their shield, but pressure them to try to make them do options that they wouldn't normally do because they're nervous, and then get a grab out of it for some free damage. But yeah, now I'm going to just go into Cloud's neutral, so let me go ahead and restart this here. I'm going to charge limit at the beginning. That's kind of risky to do against Captain Falcon, but he did kind of retreat. So whenever someone's next to you, you don't really want to charge limit. I feel like that's kind of obvious, as limit does leave you open for attack, but a few people will just try to charge limit. But yeah, I'm just going to run up to Falcon and maybe grab, because he just seems to be shielding a bit. Gonna throw out new special. Gonna try to recover high here, although Falcon did catch my jump, which forced me to air dodge. I knew he was gonna do some option there, but I should have done it the other way. Because I figured he was either gonna roll or jump, but I thought he might jump because I was jumping. But instead he rolled. Yeah, gonna get a jab here. Gonna kind of back off from Falcon a bit. Yeah, I thought I could get my neutral air out in time to be able to hit Falcon instead of him slide specialing me, but ended up getting hit there. But yeah, he has to be really careful with what he does here, and he rolls again, so I was able to just probably guess that he was going to roll. Like, I knew he was probably going to roll, but I wasn't that confident in it, so I kind of just backed up just in case. I didn't back up far enough to be able to catch the roll. I backed up far enough to be able to catch his jump, in case he did that, and also backed up enough to where I might be able to cover his neutral or attack get-ups by just running the opposite way. But I didn't really want to run that far away, just in case he didn't roll. Yeah, just gonna down throw. I guess down throw might be decent for spacing, although just in terms of like combo throws or anything like that, kill throws, Cloud really doesn't have any of those. He can kind of create juggles with his up throw, as I said earlier, but outside of that, you don't really have that much that will get you a lot of damage. Yeah, I do make it back to stage here, but barely. I probably should have air dodged just to be safe. And then I rolled at the ledge, because I thought Falcon probably wouldn't guess it, but he did. As most time, I just jump back to ledge, although I think I've been rolling a lot with Cloud. Yeah, it's going to be a down air. He was in the perfect position for it to spike, so I thought I might as well do that because I will be able to get a decent amount of damage off of it. Yeah, that does hit underneath the ledge, so I figured I might be able to catch his up B. That time I was a bit too late. Yeah, just gonna throw that out in case he tries to approach me while I'm landing. Limit does have a time limit, I guess I should say. Although I did forget to mention that earlier, that's why I'm gonna go ahead and say that now. It's about, like, what, 15 to 30 seconds, so I can't pause it to see because that'll kill Falcon, but it's somewhere around that time, so you do want to use it before then. Falcon was once again in a position where I was able to down air him, so I took advantage of it by landing with one. If he wouldn't have slide special there, then he wouldn't have gotten down aired, but for some reason he always just ends up either edge guarding me with like up air into up special, or maybe down air potentially, but he rarely goes for that, or just backing off and then slide specialing. But yeah, I thought I could get his ledge get up, but he jumped. He probably guessed that I was gonna neutral special as I did back pretty far away. So see, yeah, he'll either go for like an up air. He could go for a down air here. No, he went for up air. I went for that, but I knew I was either going to die that stock, or if I did land that, then I'd be able to take his. So it'd be like a pretty good trade for me, because I was at 170. But I really shouldn't be throwing away stocks like that. Because usually when I throw away stocks in these guides, that just means that I'm going to die. But yeah, got a charge limit here. Got limit with that, and slide special, because I think he either air dodged or he jumped and tried to land with an air dodge. But either way, I was just going to wait for him to get pretty low to the ground to see if he would air dodge after he tried to return to stage, in case he didn't, but he just kind of stood there, so I just slide specialed as soon as I could before he touched the ground so he couldn't shield, and it worked out. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it for Cloud. He's a very strong character for sure, although a lot of people are starting to like slowly move him down in the tiers. I have him at about, I think he's still high tier on my tier list, but I might move him down to mid tier. He's definitely a very strong character. I think that he probably will come back later in Ultimate and be high tier for most people. If he's not a mid tier for most people already, like if he's a low tier, then he'll move up to mid tier. If he's mid tier, he'll move up to high tier. But for now, Cloud's recovery is one of his main weaknesses, so you mainly just want to have limit on you at all times, or at least have probably around here on your limit. That way you can charge it up in the air or get it from a few hits, or maybe a few hits from your opponent will give you a bit of limit. So that way you can recover with limit, although if you do use your up special while you do have limit, it will waste the limit, so you won't be able to get another attack, but it will at least protect you from dying off the stage, being edge guarded by Little Mac, which is something that can happen to Cloud. But, yeah, I'm actually dead from that. Or no, I wasn't, but I thought I was. I didn't mean to hit my controller there. But yeah, another problem with Cloud is that his limit's not forever, it's just kind of a temporary thing, so he can be camped out by opponents, and most opponents will camp Cloud out, so you do have to be careful on how you approach, especially with limit, because if they do hit you with limit, they're going to go for the combo, so maybe try to get something to read what type of combo they're going to do. The reason that they're going to combo is whenever you do have limit fully charged, you're running out of time or just from the moment it's charged to the moment that it disappears. So your opponent might just try to hit you and then make it where you can't hit them by comboing you. Even with just something like a grab and then just pummeling you to all the hits and then waiting to release. But as you can see, I lost limit already just in the middle of talking. So you don't really have that much time to be able to waste while you have limit, so you want to either burn it on like the last second, or you want to try to set up for it, but if you can't get the setup, then I'd recommend to use it as soon as possible. Just to throw out some kind of high damage attack, like maybe Neutral B, because with Neutral B you at least have a decent amount of range. With Limit Cross Slash, you kind of just have that range in front of Cloud. Same thing with like Climb Hazard, you have a bit more range vertically, but than Limit does horizontally, but you still don't really have that much range because you don't cover that much horizontal range. And then with Down Special, which is going to be the finishing touch, you do still have a decent amount of range because you have that little tornado effect around Cloud. But it's still not going to be that safe compared to something like Neutral Special. Because with Neutral Special, you've got a pretty fast, large projectile, and then if it hits people's shield, deteriorates their shield a lot. If it hits people, it does about 20%, and then if it hits them at a high enough percent, it will kill them. And then you can even use it to snipe people off the ledge if they're trying to camp you at the ledge. But yeah, that's going to be it for Cloud, so now I will be doing taunts, like I always do. So we got up taunt, side taunt, and then down taunt. The next character I will be doing is Corrin, and so let me go ahead and prepare for that stream. I might delay that stream for a bit. I'll see in a minute if I have anything to do before I start that stream. But if not, I guess I will see everyone in a few minutes.